Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and learning about some missing persons cases. This is our Missing Person Monday live stream. We do this every week. And we've been featuring for the last few weeks, going through the states and featuring missing persons from a particular city in each state. And tonight we are doing, we're down to Connecticut. We've been trying to go in alphabetical order. So we're going to be featuring, I think I have 7 cases from Hartford, Connecticut. Most of them are cold cases on my channel. Of course, every missing person is important, absolutely. But it seems like unfortunately, with cold cases, older cases, that they just, get pushed to the side. They get forgotten, if they run out of leads. And no missing person deserves to be forgotten. So that is why I feature a lot of cold cases on my channel. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did not do anything all weekend except watch football. I watched the college playoffs. I've been watching the NFL playoffs. My Bears beat the Packers last night, so I'm extremely happy about that. The Niners won. The Niners came back and beat the Eagles. So we have a happy household. It was a good football weekend for our household. But welcome to everybody in chat. Welcome to our lurkers. Welcome to Replay Crew. If you're a Replay Crew, thank you so much. Our Replay Crew rocks. And if you are watching Replay, please leave a comment down below so that I will know. I do read all my comments and try to respond to all of them. So we will get started. Let's see who is here. Miss Paula checked in. She said she will have it on, but she's currently watching the new Stranger Things documentary. Yes, I know Miss Paula is a big, sorry, stuff is popping up, a big Stranger Things fan. as I am, but I have to go back and start at the very beginning and just watch the whole thing again. So when football gets over with, that's when I will get back into my binge watching on the weekends. And speaking to Miss Paula, congratulations to her Patriots. Her Patriots won last night, so congratulations to them. And Mustang is here. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Always good to see you. There is our Doodlebug. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Let me do this. I haven't done this in a while. If I still have it. Oh, where's my video clips? Do I still have it? There it is.
Ma'am, any reason you were pushing 90?
Southern Gal True Crime starts in 5 minutes. She's covering cold cases tonight.
Oh yeah? I love that channel.
Thanks, officer.
Oh dang, that lady was Doodle.
I love that. We love our Doodlebug, and Doodlebug actually made that. So I have to play it when I remember to, when she is here. So welcome, Miss Doodle. I hope you're doing well. Let's see, who else is here? Yes, Miss Doodle says, how are you humans? We are doing well. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you. Mustang is getting links in. Wait, what was that? Doodle's got something going on. Oh, smiley, it's smiley faces. Thank you. Mustang is getting links in. There's a link from Miss Doodle's channel. There's a link from Miss Paula's channel. Yes. I love that. And actually, Doodle sent me 3 of those little clips like that. And I still haven't got the other 2 uploaded yet. But that one that I played, that I uploaded, is my favorite one. It is hilarious. All right. So I think we're caught up. I was going to say something else and I just totally forgot, as usual. And I forgot to bring it. I can't reach it, but Doodle sent me the cutest gift the other day, and I just love it. I'll try to remember. Yeah, I was going to try to get it, but I can't. If I would have to move everything to get it. But it's a dumpster fire. It's like a little pencil holder. It was a dumpster, and it's got little flame cards that came with it, and it's just so cute. So thanks again to Doodle. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because as she said, if I'm anything like her, she loses pens, styluses daily, and I'm the same way. I'm always searching for a pen, searching for my stylus. Can't ever find them, so now I have somewhere to keep everything. So I appreciate it. There's Miss Barb is here. Hello, Miss Barb. I hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Thank you very much. Please do check out Timmy's Legacy. That is Miss Barbara's channel for her son Timmy D's. She is still searching for justice, fighting for justice for Timmy, and we all believe in our heart of hearts that she will get justice sooner, hopefully sooner than later. So please do check that out. Doodle says, you are very welcome. You make a difference. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else, but thank you. There's our friend Josh the Pot. Oh, hold on. It jumped. There's Josh. Hello, Josh. Good to see you, my friend. Josh said he had been busy lately, but he's going to get back into, he has a wonderful channel called Where Lavender Grows. Please do check it out. I don't know when he's going to get back into live streams and stuff again, but in the meantime, go over there, subscribe, watch everything that he's done so far. I think he's done 3 or 4 live streams. I was honored to be a guest on one of his live streams. I appreciated it so much for him asking me to be on there with him to discuss some missing persons cases. So please do check out Josh. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Mustang got in. There is the channel link for Josh. Marcus here. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let me make sure I get everybody. There is Miss, where'd she go? There she is. There is Miss Z from Child Junkies United. She says, hello, everyone. I made it. I'm so glad you made it. If you haven't checked out Child Junkies United, what are you doing with your life? Excellent channel. Miss Z and Doc and Moo the cat. We love Moo. We love Moo. Do such a wonderful job of showcasing and highlighting missing Indigenous persons, injustice cases. Just quickly became, as soon as I think Chris was the one that made me aware of Child Junkies United and what they were doing over there. And I try not to miss any. They do live streams Thursday nights and Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Central. I encourage you, please come to the live stream, be in the chat if you can. If not, definitely be replay crew, if I can talk tonight. I always share the link to the live stream as soon as it's over. I share it on my community post. Just wonderful work they're doing there. Quickly becoming one of my favorite channels. Absolutely. But it's good to have Miss Z here. And once again, thank you, Mustang. There is a link to Child Junkies United. Miss Doodle said, thanks, Mustang, for sharing the links. It's hard with my hand like this. Did you do something to your hand? What happened, Doodle? Did my Doodle hurt herself? What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. I have trouble with my hands just because I'm old now and I have the arthritis or whatever in my hands. So that's my only problem. Oh goodness. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Ms. Z said, I had my speakers on and Moo, the cat, heard you say her name and was looking around. Oh, hello, Moo. We love Moo. Moo, we usually have at least one Moo sighting during the live streams. We love Moo. We love kitty cats. My two cats, they're mad because I had to lock them out of the room because if they were in here, they would be running amok. But I'll let them, they'll be fine. They're in there keeping mom company right now. So I'll let them back in when we get done here. Let's see. Who else we got? Miss Barb says she's cooking and listening. Excellent. What are you cooking, Miss Barb? I bet it's good, whatever it is. We had, those little Hawaiian rolls. You can buy them at Walmart. We buy them at Walmart. We made like little sliders. We put pizza sauce, some pepperonis, some mozzarella sauce, made little sliders, and then we put some butter on top and sprinkled some Parmesan cheese on top, put them in the oven just to bake them a little bit, get them warmed up. They were fantastic. Fantastic. Anyway, we will get down to business. I promise. I promise. Okay, Miss Dill says it's just a medical thing. Okay, as long as everything is okay with you, ma'am. Ms. Z says that sounds good. Are you talking about the sliders? Oh, I know. They were so good. It's the first time we tried them. I think we had found a recipe. We kind of tweak our recipes, but I remember the basics of it. We remember the basics of it. And I mean, those Hawaiian rolls are so good. You could take anything and put on them and make sliders or just eat them. But I will eat them, literally take them out of take them out of the package and just eat them by themselves. They're so good. But anyway, Josh says a friend of mine used King Hawaiian dumplings in their chicken and dumpling soup. Definitely a repeat. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really, really good. See, and I'm stuffed, but this talk of food is making me hungry again. Anyway, all right, I think I'm caught up. And forgive my raggedy appearance, but I was between eating and we were watching the foot. I got the football game going on, muted over here in the corner. The Steelers and the Texans are playing. So anyway, so we were watching the ball game and eating and talking, and I let time get away from me. So anyway, right, I will mark right there. We will get started. If I remember to load my slideshow, there it is. All right, so like I said, tonight we're going to be featuring missing persons from Hartford, Connecticut. And I think I have 7. I know, once again, that sounds like a lot, but unfortunately, with most of these, with about half of them, there's just not a whole lot of information. Now, I was able to find some really good articles on 3 or 4 of them. But the other ones just had basic information. But we always say a little bit of information is better than no information. So we will go with what we have. So we will get started. Let me make sure I have my articles up and they are loading. Yes, they are. Thank you. I probably shouldn't have said anything because everything will go haywire now. But the first one we have is Raymond G. Carey. And this might be the oldest one that we have tonight. Now, as soon as I say that, I always say that, and then we'll go on down the line, and there's one that's older. But this one is from 1963. So Raymond has been missing since October 25th, 1963 from Hartford. He is a white male. He was just 16 years old when he went missing. He will be 78 years old as of 2000. I almost said 2025. I got to get into the habit of saying 2026. And by the way, I hope everybody is having a good 2026 so far. We're already almost halfway through January. And this age, the smaller picture on the slide is an age progression of Raymond to 72 years old. So when at the time he disappeared, once again, he was 16 years old, 5 foot 6 inches tall, 130 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. He does have a scar on his lip. Some agencies spell his last name Cary without the E. His last known clothing was a dark green sweater, a dark green sports shirt, black pants, and gray suede shoes. So Raymond was last seen during the evening of October 25th, 1963. He had left his home in the 70 block of Daniel Boulevard in Bloomfield, Connecticut. Is this the right one? In Bloomfield, Connecticut at 7:15 p.m. He had originally intended to go to a movie, but he had a change of plans. So he went to a bowling alley instead. So then after he went to the bowling alley, he went to a Pi Kappa Sigma sorority dance, which was at the Lithuanian Dance Hall in the 200 block of Lawrence Street, which was in Hartford. So while he was at the dance, Raymond told another boy that he did have a ride home. A witness did see him leaving the dance hall with 3 other teenage boys. He returned home. He never returned home. He's never been seen again after he was seen leaving the dance hall with these 3 teenage boys. His parents did report him missing the next morning. At the time of his disappearance, Raymond was a junior at Bloomfield High School. He lived with his parents and his sister. He did enjoy sports. He played on the basketball and softball teams at Bethel Baptist Church. He had no prior history of running away. His case does remain unsolved, obviously, and it says that the Bloomfield police are investigating. So that is the basic information. I think I do have an article or two to go along with this information, but if you do have any information regarding Raymond's case, you can call the Bloomfield Police Department at 860-242-5501. And let me see what else I had. So this first article comes from ConnecticutMissingPeople.com. And I don't know. Oh, it was posted in June of 2025. So Raymond Carey was 16 years old. He was a junior at Bloomfield High School on October 25th, 1963. He put on a pair of gray suede shoes and a dark green sweater before heading out to a sorority dance at the Lithuanian Dance Hall in Hartford. But a few hours later, a witness saw Raymond leave the dance with 3 other teens, but he never made it home that night. He was never seen again. When he left home around 7:15 p.m., once again, he told his parents that he was going to the movie. Then he changed his mind and went to the bowling alley instead. And then that's when he headed to Hartford to the Pi Kappa Sigma sorority dance. So the dance was clearly a change of plans, according to his parents in a newspaper interview after he went missing. It is unclear. Hold on. Ads are popping up. It is unclear if he knew people in the sorority, but he told people at the dance that he did have a ride home. So I never went to college. I don't know about sororities and dances and how these things are. I don't know if you have to be a member of the sorority to go to the dance. Do you have to be invited? Can you just walk in? So if anybody out there in chat or if you're watching replay knows anything about that, please let me know. It would be good to know if somebody did invite him to go. That would be good to know. So Raymond's mother told the Hartford Courant a few months after he went missing, she said, quote, "If he didn't, he would have called. That I feel sure of." It is also unclear if police ever identified or questioned the teens that Raymond was seen leaving the dance with. And this is another thing I was wondering about. Did he know these other boys? Was he friends with them, acquaintances? Did he just get to know them at the dance? Were they questioned? But apparently it is unclear if they were even identified or questioned. Police said that Raymond lived on Daniel Boulevard in Bloomfield with his family, including a younger sister. Once again, he had no history of running away from home. And the dance hall was about 5 miles away from his home. His parents reported him missing the next morning when they realized that he never came home the night before. And interviewed right before Christmas, 1963, Raymond's mother told the Hartford Courant that she was just going out of her mind. And my heart always goes out, obviously, to all the family members of missing, especially the mamas. Just breaks my heart. I just cannot imagine what they go through, the grief, the worry, the not knowing. For me, I think just the not knowing would be the hardest part, but it's different for everybody. But just the not knowing for me would be the hardest. Once again, Raymond did love sports. He loved music. He played basketball and softball. He also played the trumpet. And it says he especially played the trumpet in church at Christmas time, according to his mother. So it just goes over his vitals again. At the time of his disappearance, he was 5 foot 6 inches tall, around 130 pounds. He had brown hair, blue eyes. He had the scar on his lip. Once again, if you have any information, call the Bloomfield Police Department at 860-242-5501. And I think I had one more short article. See if this has any different information. This is from chipchick.com. I use this site. Not a lot, but every once in a while, because it does have sometimes it'll have little bits of information that aren't in any other articles. Let me just scan through and see if there's anything that was different. Well, if my computer, hopefully it's not freezing up. So we know about that. Okay, so this does say it is unknown if he went alone to the sorority dance or with friends. And I also wondered about him being, with him being in high school, why would he be going to a college sorority dance? But according to this site, whoever wrote this, it says despite his young age, it reportedly also was not uncommon for people of all ages to go to these sorority events. So that kind of cleared up some questions I had about that also. So while at the party, Raymond supposedly told another male attendee once again that he had to ride home. He was spotted with these 3 other teenage boys, and they left the dance hall together. After that, Raymond was never seen again. He did not make it home, never seen or heard from again. Let's see. So some people have theorized that Raymond could have been the victim of a hazing ritual at the hands of the 3 boys that he left the sorority event with. Now, I'd always been under the impression, or all the hazing incidents I'd always heard about was actual college kids hazing other college kids, usually freshmen, incoming, new students. I've never heard of really just a teenage high school boy being the victim of a hazing ritual. I don't know. Like I said, I never went to college. I don't know that much about what goes on, but to me that seemed a little weird, but that's just a theory that some people had had. I don't know if I would put that high on my list personally of what happened, but obviously we don't know. Once again, they say it's unclear if the police ever identified these boys, and if the authorities did, they were never charged in relation to Raymond's disappearance. According to his parents, once again, Raymond had never run away from home in the past. His case is classified as endangered missing. Still, what exactly happened that evening that still remains a mystery. Nick Meck created the age progression photo that's on the slide. So that's really the rest of that information is what we've already went over. But yeah, it would be obviously, pertinent to know who these 3 boys were that he left with. Did he already know them? Did he meet them there? Did they talk him into going somewhere, or say, hey, let's go to another party or something of that nature? I would just like to know, obviously, if, you would think, to me, if I was law enforcement, which I'm not, obviously, those for law enforcement, you would think that would be priority to try to find out who these boys were, where they went to after they left. Did Raymond stay with them? Did they just leave and then he parted ways with them and something happened after that? Just questions that we do not have the answers for, unfortunately. All right, let me get back down into your comments for a second. Yes, Miss Z says, what do those boys know that gave him the ride? I know. That's why it's so frustrating that, it is unclear. Did the police talk to them? Did they identify them? If they did talk to them, what did they say? Did police, did the police not identify them, couldn't find them? Or did they find them, talk to them? They gave them no useful information, or maybe they did say something that police are just keeping to themselves. But I mean, this is how many? Somebody do the math. This happened in 1963, so it's been well over what 60 years or so. You know, you would think that if they did find these boys and talk to them, that they had, you would think that they would tell the public, you know, okay, they said they went here and whatever the case may be. And so people who might have seen something, they might have seen them all together, said, hey, I saw them at this place, or I saw this was happening, you know, just, I don't know. But you know, then again, it could be the case where the police just never could find them, never could identify them, and they just don't know. Yeah, I know. Josh says his mother, you know, same with Christmas coming, I'm going out of my mind. I know, it just breaks my heart, breaks my heart. Yep. Said he played the trumpet at church for Christmas events. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, that is why, and you know, if anybody at all would just come forward, if anybody saw something, just no bit of information is ever too small, especially in these cold cases. I mean, even 60 years, going on 60 years or more, somebody may, you know, see this or see just something about this case somewhere else, and it might jog their memory and say, hey, I remember seeing, you know, four teenage boys together on this night, and they were at this place, or something was happening, they were arguing or whatever, you know, and just, you know, just go to the police. If you see something, say something. If you know something, say something. It's just so important, so important. All right, so that was Raymond. Let me make sure that was all I had. I think just those two articles. I apologize once again for the scratchy voice. Once again, the weather here in Arkansas is schizophrenic. One day the highs in the 40s, and then I think today the high was in the low to mid 50s, and tomorrow it's supposed to get up to almost 70 degrees, and then it's going to go back down to a high 40s, so keeps everything messed up. But anyway, let's see. Yep, that was the last I had on Raymond. So next we have Mary Ann Kopak, and I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. I don't think I was able to find a whole lot on Mary Ann besides the Charley Project information. I don't think I was even able to find any NamUs, if she was listed on NamUs or Doe Network. I don't have I might have to look up. I can't remember if I looked to see if she had a web sleuth thread, if I can talk once again. But Mary Ann has been missing since June 18th, 1991 from East Hartford, Connecticut. She was just 24 years old. She's a white female. At the time she disappeared, she was 5'1", 105 pounds, with blonde hair and hazel eyes. She does have scars on her right hand, her right arm, and her nose, and her ears are pierced. No known last clothing. It does say that she is an alcoholic, but that's neither here nor there. So just the only information is that she was last seen in East Hartford on June 18th, 1991. She disappeared under unknown circumstances. She's never been seen or heard from again. So she was last seen in 1991. She was not reported missing until October 3rd of 2001, which is 10 years after she was last seen. So once again, I would like to know who reported her missing. Why did it take so long for her to be reported missing? What were the circumstances of that situation? But we just do not know. Obviously, few details are available in her case, but if you do know anything, if you saw anything, if you knew her habits, where she liked to hang out, things of that nature. Contact the East Hartford Police Department at 860-291-7100. And I'm going to look right quick to see Henria. I don't know if I spelled her name right. Okay, let's see if she has a NamUs. She does have a NamUs page. I think I forgot to. I will go back and include that in the link in the about section. I put all the links. I will go back and include that. No additional information on that. Let me see if she's listed on Doe Network, maybe. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. I'm working on the fly here. She's not listed as far as I can see on the Doe Network. Let me check Web Sleuths. I can't type as usual. Okay, let's see. She does have a Web Sleuths thread. Let's see. I'm just scanning through to see if there's any little bit of information that wasn't on the Charley Project. So someone did post in December 2010. Whoever this poster is says, just last weekend I sent an email to the East Hartford PD with some information that showed that she is either alive and living in Massachusetts, or someone in Massachusetts was using her name. Now that also the other option is it just could be somebody with the same name. Now, if they have the same social security number, something like that, same birthday, maybe something to it, but that could be just somebody with the same name. See if there's anything else. Somebody posted a sketch of the Fire Island Jane Doe from Long Island. They were just theorizing if it could be her. Their sketches are similar. The sketch and the picture are similar, but we all know how sketches are. Sketches are somewhat generic. And I don't know, it's been a long time. Do we know if Huerman did any hunting in Connecticut, in that area? I think it was mostly, I know he had possible victims, or he had ties to other states, and I don't know, I can't remember if Connecticut was one of them or not. Let's see. So I'm not seeing really anything else pertinent that we don't already know. Okay. Let's see if I don't think I could find anything else. All right. Like I said, not a whole lot of information, but it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. All right. Okay, what is Josh saying? Says also the same time the person who struck Senator Adlai Stevenson in Dallas failed to show up for court. This incident caused some in Kennedy's orbit to warn him not to go to Dallas. I'm telling you, we're going to have to go down the JFK rabbit hole again sometime, man. Yes, thank you. Yep, I found it. And I don't know why. I know when I was doing after I, pick out the cases and get the slideshow made, I get on the Google machine and try to look for any additional NamUs, Doe Network, articles, interviews with law enforcement, updates on the cases, interviews with family members, web sleuths. And I don't know why I did not have it bookmarked. Unless I don't know. I was probably because I was doing it at the same time I was watching football. So I probably didn't have my focus was not totally on what I was doing. Hey, Patriotism, good to see you. It's okay. You're never late. You are good. So see, Josh mentioned Heuermann. He says, whatever happened, I hope she didn't run into RH. So does anybody remember if Heuermann had connections to Connecticut? I don't remember. It's been a while since I brushed up on my list information. That would be interesting because, like I said, that let me see. Hold on. Let me go back really quick. Indulge me for just a minute. Let me find the web sleuths again because somebody did put her picture and the sketch of the Fire Island Jane Doe. Like I said, there's some similarity, but then again, sketches are sketchy sometimes. No, what am I doing? Goodness gracious. What do I want to do? I tell you, I think StreamYard has changed things up again. Okay, there we go. Want to share screen. This one. Share. Oh, I gotta take my, hold on, let me take down my, hold on. I gotta take down, no. Oh, it took it down for me. Okay. Let me scroll down to, can't tell if it's working. Did I do the wrong one? Is it showing up? Is the web sleuth showing up on the, oh, I did the wrong one. Sorry, hold on. If I would share the right one, it might work. Share screen. Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay. Make sure it comes up. There we go. All right, let me find. Okay, so here, right there. I don't know if I can make it any bigger. Oh, a little bit. Can you guys see that fairly decently? So on the left is a sketch of Fire Island Jane Doe, and then on the right is a picture of let's see, there's similarity around the nose. The mouths really don't match. She has more of a straight, I mean, like I said, with these sketches, they look like everybody. But just let me know what you guys think. But I mean, in Connecticut, there's always the possibility. Who knows? Who knows? So maybe the eyes a little bit. The nose, to me, the nose looks similar. So who knows? Who knows? Anything is possible, unfortunately, in these cases. All right. Did I stop sharing? What am I doing? Okay, let me put my my slideshow back up there. Why did my now I screwed everything up. Now everything is really small on my computer. Anyway, let's see. Yep. Josh says there's hardly anything about her, and my goodness, 10-year gap between yes, 10 years between when she was last seen and when she was reported missing. I want to know the story behind that. Who reported her missing? Why did it take so long? Now, it didn't say anything about whether she had any family around, friends. Did she lead a transient lifestyle? Was she unhoused? Did she just, find a place to sleep wherever, a friend's house, acquaintance's house, whatever? Is that why it took so long for her to be reported missing? I don't know. It would be nice to know, though. Nice to know. Josh says, as far as ties to Connecticut, not that he knows, not that I know of, but he apparently did. Yes, in South Carolina, where I recently visited. Yes, don't you have family in South Carolina? I hope you had a good visit, by the way. Thank you. Yeah. Josh says sketches are sketchy sometimes. True crime tips with Dawn, Southern Gal. Yes, sketches are sketchy sometimes. You guys know what I'm saying? That it's like eyewitnesses. Eyewitnesses are probably the least dependable thing about a case. Eyewitnesses and sketches. I mean, just Ms. Z says, I would think they might have tried to match that one, the Fire Island Jane Doe, just in case. Absolutely, I agree. Josh says some of the updated profiles from NamUs really look like her. You talking about the sketches compared to the Fire Island Jane Doe? I'm gonna have to look into this some more. I'm gonna have to dive back into the Lisk rabbit hole and see if there's any connections to Connecticut. All right. So next we have, and I hate it that I don't know why my screen that you guys see, it's like very little on my computer now. Usually it's big enough I can read off of it. But anyway, so this is, let me see who it is because I can't read it off the slide. I believe it's Angel Garcia. Yes, this is Angel Garcia. And he's been missing since October 21st, 2011 from Hartford. He is an Hispanic male. He was just 19 years old when he went missing. He would be 33 years old as of 2026. At the time he went missing, he was 5'8" tall, 180 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. It says that one and possibly both of his ears are pierced. He has a scar on his right hand, across his knuckles, scars on his chin and his right knee. He has a mole on his upper lip. He also has a mole on his upper back and on his chest, between his nipples. It says between his nipples, in the middle of his chest area. And it says he may wear his hair in a ponytail or braids, and his nickname is Ito or Ito, Ito. I would pronounce it Ito, but I could be wrong. There's one thing me and Ms. Z have in common: we have trouble pronouncing names. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So Angel was last seen in the vicinity of Newfield and New Britain Avenues in Hartford on October 21st, 2011. He was riding a red Honda 85cc dirt bike with several Geico stickers on it. It does have a picture of the bike on the Charley Project page. I think I forgot to put it on the slide. He had been riding the bike with friends. He then left to take a ride by himself. After that, he has never been seen or heard from again. The bike has also never been found. They said it is uncharacteristic of Angel to be out of touch with his loved ones. He did enjoy riding his bike on the trails along the eastern border of the Connecticut River. So we have a body of water involved. So, and he was on his way there when he vanished. So, in my opinion, one of the possibilities, in my opinion, is that because it said that I don't know if he had to cross some kind of a train trestle the way that he was going to across the river, which was they said was very dangerous. So in my opinion, one of the possibilities is that he and the bike could have ended up in the river, although they did search and never found anything. But we all know, once again, how hard it is to find people and like a dirt bike or even a full-size vehicle in water. So police believe it is possible that he and the bike accidentally fell into the river while crossing this train trestle, which connects the cities of Hartford and East Hartford. But his remains have never been found. Case is obviously unsolved. But if you do have any information, you can call the Hartford PD at 860-757-4000. And I think I was able to find a couple of articles for Angel. So this first one is from storiesoftheunsolved.com. I have used this this site a few times. The disappearance of Angel Garcia. Wow, that writing is really small, so I have to make it bigger. Oh, maybe a little bit too big. So Angel's early life, he was born on March 5th, 1992. When he was 10 years old, his parents, Laura Suazo and Ralph Garcia, separated. And they say this was an event that saw Angel and his mother grow very close after his mother and father separated. The family, which also included his sister Rose, lived in Hartford, where the children grew up being taught that family was the most important thing. So in 2011, Angel was living with his mother and his girlfriend of 14 months. Her name is Omira. However, once again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's spelled Omayra. They apparently met through Facebook, and their relationship had grown serious quite quickly. And before long, Amira had moved into the family home with her 2-year-old son, who they say Angel got along really well with the 2-year-old son. And it says the living situation inspired Angel to begin cooking more. He would often make dinner each night for the rest of the household. So apparently Angel did have ADD, which did cause him to struggle in school. He wasn't they said he wasn't the most punctual student. He had fallen behind a couple of years while he had tried medication in the past. He disliked the way it made him feel, so he stopped taking it, which from what I understand is not uncommon for people with ADD or things of that nature. Take the medicine, and it just, like they said, they just don't like the way it makes them feel, so they don't take it, or they stop taking it. But they say despite being behind, he was determined to earn his high school diploma. So in September of 2011, Angel got this red Honda dirt bike. It was described as being his pride and joy. He loved it. He told Laura, who was Laura? I've already forgot who Laura was. Oh, his mother. Sorry. He told his mother, Laura, that his father had given him the money to purchase the bike. He spent almost every day with it. He would wash it, keep it very clean. He would drive it along the trails in the streets of Hartford. So he was very proud of this dirt bike. So on the evening of October 20th, 2011, Laura, his mother, returned home from work to find that Angel had cooked dinner, had dinner waiting for her. It was like 10 p.m. when she got home. She was tired, so he had already cooked. But then she says that she decided to head to bed without eating. So the next morning, Laura was getting ready for work. She saw that Angel was still in bed. She assumed that he would be getting up soon to head to school, so she left the house. But however, it says Angel had other plans. So at around 10:30 a.m., Angel went to see his friend Joel, with whom he had plans to ride dirt bikes. The pair went to Joel's uncle's house, which had a field behind it, which is, I live on a farm. We have plenty of fields and farmland that's perfect for four-wheelers, dirt bikes, whatever, to just get out and ride and have fun, So they rode together for a few hours, Angel on his bike and Joel was on an ATV. At some point, the ATV ran out of gas. So when the ATV ran out of gas, both of the boys pushed it back to Joel's uncle's house. Angel said that he was going to continue riding his dirt bike in East Hartford. Joel declined to go with him. He said he had other plans. And at 1 p.m., Joel said that he watched Angel ride off alone, heading east on his dirt bike. Sorry, once again, I feel like I'm about to lose my voice. So at around 9:30 p.m. that night, Laura, his mom, was getting ready for bed when she noticed that Angel was not home. However, as she had to work the next morning, she went to bed. She just assumed that he would be, Angel would be home at some point during the night. So this is interesting, and it may have something to do with it, with Angel's disappearance. It might have nothing to do with it. But apparently in the middle of the night, that night, Laura awoke to yelling echoing in the street below her bedroom window. A voice, which she said sounded like Angel's, said something to the effect of, quote, "Go ahead, break it." So Laura left her room in a panic. She ran into Amara, who was Angel's girlfriend, in the hallway. She had also been awakened by this shouting and this commotion. So both of them ran out to the front porch, but when they got there, the street was empty. Apparently, this yelling had stopped. So once again, we don't know. His mother said it sounded like Angel's voice. So I don't know if it was him. Who was he arguing with? Did it have anything to do with this disappearance? Was it just, nothing, no big deal, just a little argument with somebody? So Laura and Amara went back inside. Laura asked Amara where Angel was, but Amara didn't know, saying that he had not been answering or returning her calls. She said that she had last spoken to him around 11 a.m. the previous morning, when he had been out with Joel riding in the field at Joel's uncle's house. Despite him promising to call her back later in the day, he never called back, and Amara had assumed that he had no service or that his cell phone had died. So Laura ended up staying awake until 6 a.m. that morning. She called anyone that she could think of that might know where Angel was. Obviously, she was concerned. She said it was unlike him to not answer his phone or keep in touch. And then 12 hours later at 6 p.m. is when she reported Angel missing. So as far as the search goes, a patrol officer responded to the house after receiving the call to report Angel missing. They took the missing persons report from Laura. And then that's when he learned about Angel spending time with his friend Joel. So officers immediately followed up with Angel's friend, with Joel, who verified that Angel had been with him during the day, but had left to ride the trails behind a row of car dealerships in East Hartford. And when asked why he hadn't joined him, Joe said that he had errands to run, and that he did not like driving to the East Hartford area, as it meant having to drive on the highway that crosses the Connecticut River. So I did read, and maybe in one of these articles, that to get to East Hartford from where they were riding at Joel's house, you either had to cross this river on this railroad trestle, which is very dangerous, or you had to cross the highway, which is also very dangerous. So that's basically why Joel said that he did not want to go with Angel, because he just didn't, it was just, he said it was too dangerous. Hold on, I lost my place. So I said there are 2 road bridges that span the Connecticut River, both of which have busy highway traffic. The only other option that Angel had to cross the river would have been driving over this train trestle, which many did do dirt bikes. Many people did ride dirt bikes and ATVs over this train trestle. I wouldn't have done it, I can tell you that much. So this led investigators to theorize that Angel may have lost control of the bike and fallen from this railroad trestle bridge into the river below. Apparently the river was at flood stage at the time. So that would make it obviously even more difficult, if that is indeed what happened, if he and the bike went into the water, if the water was at flood stage. That would mean that it was obviously deeper, and it would have been flowing more rapidly, and it could have carried he and the bike downstream. And they just never, with all the searches they did, just never found him or the bike. So, however, nothing has ever washed ashore, neither any, remains or the bike. There were no surveillance cameras in that area near the trestle. So there was no proof that he had even, no proof or evidence that he had even taken this route. So that after learning that Angel was planning to drive along the trails, investigators did look at surveillance video from the dealerships that lined the path, but footage did not show Angel nor his dirt bike. Toward the beginning of the investigation, police were worried that Angel had possibly just injured himself, had an accident while on the dirt bike, meaning that he was potentially stuck on one of the city trails. Of course, this was very concerning to them, as the nights were very cold. So they're afraid he could possibly have succumbed to hypothermia. Investigators were able to obtain his cell phone records, which did confirm that his last call was to Amira, his girlfriend, on the morning of October 21st. The records also showed that the phone had pinged off a cell tower that day at around 3:28 p.m., which was more than 2 hours after Joel last saw him. So this prompted a search of Joel's uncle's field and the area surrounding the cell tower. It consisted of detectives, Angel's friends, family, specialized units, patrol officers, a Marine unit, canine unit, all searched the area. Despite the extensive search, no evidence of Angel or the bike were located. So another interesting thing that this brings up is a friend of Angel's named Josh did come forward to police saying that he had last seen Angel riding his bike on the night before he disappeared. And according to this Josh, the pair were riding with friends in the area of Trinity College when a tan Jeep Cherokee drove by. So they drove by, they made an abrupt U-turn and began to chase them. So I'm assuming that, it said that Angel was on this bike. I'm assuming he was on the dirt bike. So, once again, just according to this friend, this tan Jeep came by, saw Angel on the bike, made a U-turn, began chasing them. It said Angel had turned off the road. He drove into a field, causing the vehicle to circle back to Josh. And Josh said that the driver and the occupant were two white men with blonde hair. They asked about Angel. Josh didn't say what they were asking about Angel, what kind of questions they were asking. So this information suggested to investigators that foul play could have been involved in Angel's disappearance, and it did prompt them to follow up on another tip from his best friend. So this other tip from this other friend said that Angel's dirt bike had actually been stolen, and that this other friend, Angel, and Joel were the ones who had stolen it, who had taken it. So it's possible, maybe, that whoever this was, these three men in this Jeep Cherokee that drove by, maybe that's who the bike was stolen from. I don't know. The squirrels are going in my head, just thinking. It's a possibility. So according to the friend, Angel had found the bike on Craigslist a month earlier, and he recruited this friend and Joel to help steal it. He met the seller at their home. He asked for a test drive, during which he drove off, loaded the bike into a truck, and just never brought it back. So the friend had been afraid to inform the police of what happened, as he didn't want to get in trouble. So Laura, his mom, when she found out about this, she said that she found this information hard to digest, as she had taught Angel not to steal. But, obviously it is not right to steal, but, kids will be kids. Things happen. Kids make bad choices. So investigators discovered that a bike in the East Windsor quarter had been stolen a month earlier, and that the victims were a 15-year-old boy and his stepfather. So believing the pair could have possibly been the men that Josh had seen in this Jeep, they were questioned, and they said that they did instantly recognize Angel when shown a photo of him, and their story matched the story that Angel's friend told. So given that this 15-year-old and the stepfather were cooperative throughout the investigation, they don't match the description of the men that were in the Jeep. They were deemed to have no connection to Angel's disappearance, so they were cleared. So wanting to move the case along, investigators decided to take a formal statement from Joel at the police station. They found his story did not differ from the one he'd originally told them. When they asked him to point out where Angel had gone biking on a map, they did say they noticed it made Joel uncomfortable. And when they brought this up to him, he maintained that he had nothing to do with Angel's disappearance. But to see how Joel would further react under pressure, he was asked to take police to the railroad tracks that Angel may have traveled along. It was after this that he was deemed to not have anything to do with his friend's disappearance, so Joel was cleared. And police maintain that he has been very cooperative with the investigation. But Angel's family do feel that Joel's story doesn't make sense, as they say that the former that Angel would never have driven to the trails east Hartford trail. I'll get it out in a minute. They say Angel would never have driven to the trails to East Hartford alone. So we said earlier that Angel did ask Joel to go with him. Joel said, "No, I've got other things to do. I'm not, I don't want to go. I can't go." So maybe, that Angel didn't want to go alone, but Joel said he didn't want to go. He had things to do. So Angel just maybe reluctantly made the decision to go by himself. There's been no activity on Angel's social media or bank accounts or his cell phone. He has not made contact with any friends or family. As the investigation continued, investigators learned that a tan Jeep Cherokee had recently been involved in a hit and run minor collision. Curious as to if it was this same one that had chased Josh and Angel, they located the vehicle. It was unoccupied, and they learned that it had been stolen in a carjacking on the day that the chase involving Angel had occurred. So, could have nothing at all to do with Angel's disappearance. I mean, I don't know why they would have turned around and chased Angel and Josh, unless maybe in passing, how kids are, they, might yell something at a passing motorist, and maybe whatever they said, if that, if that happened, the people, the guys in the Jeep, I think they said it was 2 or 3 males may have taken, turned around, what did you say? Just a typical little argument, brush up. The Jeep was seized. They got a search warrant. They searched it. Forensic investigators searched it looking for DNA, weapons, and or fingerprints. A traceable print was located. It was found to belong to a Hispanic man who has not been publicly identified. So apparently they know who the fingerprint belongs to, but they have not named him. Even though he had this unnamed individual does have a criminal record, police could find no evidence to connect him to the car chase, as he did not match the description of the men provided by Josh. Because I think Josh said the description was basically white males with blonde hair. Tips continued to come into the Hartford Police Department, including one that claimed that Angel had been seen riding his dirt bike with a friend named Anthony around 5 p.m., which was hours after he had left Joel. So this piqued investigators' interest, as they had initially been working on a theory that Angel was last seen alive at 1 p.m. on October 21st. But apparently, this Anthony said that he saw Angel around 5 p.m. So when they tracked Anthony down, he admitted to riding with Angel, but then he said it had been a day earlier on October 20th. So apparently he just got the days mixed up. So he said he knew it had been then, since he was with his girlfriend at 5 p.m. on October 21st, which was the last day that Angel was seen. So to corroborate the story, Anthony's girlfriend was interviewed. She said that they had been together at that time, but that they stayed out late into the evening, which contradicted Anthony's story, as he had told investigators he returned home early after he and his girlfriend had finished hanging out. Once again, could be something, could be nothing. So when they confronted Anthony about these discrepancies, he admitted that he had lied about being out late because he had violated his court-ordered 10 p.m. curfew. So that clears that up. That makes sense. So this curfew was the result of an earlier juvenile offense. He was afraid of getting into trouble by saying that he had been out late with his girlfriend. So makes sense. So investigators do not consider Anthony a person of interest in Angel's disappearance. Numerous tips have been called in that have not been deemed credible, including one that alleged that Angel had been GSW'd and thrown into the Connecticut River. They said that's not credible. Another claim that his body had been burned in a dumpster. Another one said that he had been kidnapped. Once again, all debunked or not deemed credible. So on January 9th, 2012, a convenience store clerk in New Britain, Connecticut, which is about 15 miles from Hartford, called police to say that Angel had visited the store. So this clerk, she claimed to have recognized him from a flyer. She added that he had a fresh tattoo of his name on his neck. The visit had been captured on the store surveillance camera. And Laura, his mom, was shocked at how much the man on the footage looked like Angel. And this led police to believe the man was actually Angel. So a few days later, the clerk contacted police again, claiming to have seen Angel again, this time getting into a car. And despite writing down a partial license plate number, investigators were not able to locate the vehicle or its owner. So they did set up surveillance at this store. They eventually saw the man, but after confronting him, found out that it was not Angel. So after all that, unfortunately, it was not Angel. But instead, it was an individual who could have easily passed for Angel. His name was Nelson. The tattoo on his neck actually read Ashley, which I guess you could maybe, if you just glanced at it, could mistake Ashley to say Angel. I don't know. So when questioned, he revealed that he had never heard of Angel nor his disappearance. He had no knowledge of who Angel even was. There have been no new developments in the case. Investigators remain in constant contact with Angel's family. They do have his DNA, dentals, and fingerprints on file should they need them, which is excellent. Over the years, air and water searches have been conducted, and no new leads have turned up. So theories: the prime theory held by the police is that Angel's disappearance is a result of an accidental drowning, which to me, in my opinion, that would be number one on my list. They feel that he likely fell into the Connecticut River while driving over this train trestle. That would explain the lack of evidence as well as his missing dirt bike. And it says, given that this river is too deep and dark to be combed with the use of divers or sonar, a proper search has never been possible. So, once again, it's hard enough in relatively clear water to find a person or a dirt bike, but if it's they said it was deep, it was dark, it would be almost next to impossible. I mean, if a sonar can't even see anything, it would be next to impossible, unfortunately, to find them, you know. Second theory in the case is that Angel's disappearance was the result of foul play. Something is connected to this Jeep Cherokee that chased he and Josh, while others believe that the people that he stole the dirt bike from are somehow involved, and that they possibly could have hired someone to retaliate on their behalf. But given the lack of evidence in the case, it's difficult for investigators, I can't talk tonight, to say if Angel met with foul play. I mean, I think if, and this is just my opinion, I think if it would have been retaliation for the stolen dirt bike, somebody would have seen something. Now, whether or not they came forward and said something is a different story. Somebody would have seen something. Somebody would have known something. People don't like to keep their mouth shut about things that happen. So I think, in my opinion, if that's what happened, somebody would have heard something on the street somewhere. Once again, just my opinion. Please let me know what you guys think. So the aftermath, obviously, Angel's disappearance has taken a devastating toll on his family. His mom has taken it the hardest. The family did team up with a nonprofit Lost and Missing to aid in the search. In August of 2012, the organization planned a Shining Hope event, which called for volunteers to distribute missing persons posters across Hartford and released balloons in Angel's memory. A few months later, on the 1-year anniversary of his disappearance, they did hold a vigil. On October 21st of 2019, Angel's family and friends held a vigil at Colt Park, where he is believed to have last been seen or spotted. They released balloons with his image in the hopes that they would travel far enough to grab people's attention. 3 years later, on the 9th anniversary of his disappearance, they did plant a tree in his honor at the edge of Pope Park. So once again, he was last seen in the vicinity of Newfield Avenue and New Britain Avenue in Hartford, Connecticut on October 21st, 2011. Just 19 years old, last seen wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, blue jeans, black sneakers with a red design. So it's just his case is currently classified as a missing persons investigation. So once again, anyone with information is asked to contact the Hartford PD at either 860-757-4000 or 860-757-4242 or 860-757-4236. So just a sad story. I don't know. Like I said, in my unprofessional, humble opinion, I would lean more towards accident, tragic accident that he and the bike ended up in the river off the train trestle. You know, just my opinion. Once again, feel free to let me know yours, either in chat or please leave a comment if you're watching replay. And I have to get a drink. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Watch out. I'm punching buttons. There we go. Let me get caught up in comments right quick. And I think I had another shorter article with just a couple of statements from his family, his mom. Just breaks my heart to have to read those, but it's so very important to hear from the families, because the families are, victims also, in my opinion, at least. I mean, let's see. Paula want to know, consider suspicious. In Angel's case, I mean, I always say all missing persons cases are suspicious to me until or unless they contact their family or law enforcement and they, say, hey, I'm fine, I just left of my own accord. In Angel's case, I really don't get suspicious vibes. Like I said, I think it's possibly, I'm not saying probably because I don't know for sure, possibly just a tragic accident. I mean, the police seem like they checked out this Jeep this Jeep chase, and the stolen, the bike was stolen pretty thoroughly, and didn't really find any substantial evidence to lead them to believe that, I mean, it's always possible. I'm sure they haven't completely dismissed it, but I'm sure, they checked it out and maybe didn't find enough evidence to make them say, yeah, this is, what happened. Yeah. Ms. Z says, that is why I have Doc to help me when I mess up on names. I know I mess up on names all the time. Josh says there's an ID episode, Lost Angel, about him. Oh man, I'm going to have to find that. I know ID Investigation Discovery streams somewhere on one of the streaming services. I'm going to have to find that and watch it. Definitely going to do that. Josh says his poor mother answers every unknown phone number on sale just in case. Oh man, that breaks my heart. Yeah, and we hear or read in so many of these cases that the parents, they'll stay in the same house, they'll keep the same phone number just in case, because you never know. Um, absolutely, just nice seeing everyone. Um, yeah, yeah, Josh, not you, Josh. Yeah, according to True Crime New England, apparently a friend named Josh, not me, reported an incident where he was he was chased by the Jeep. Yeah. See, and that could have been just, like I said, kids, young adults will be young adults, kids will be kids. It could have been they passed each other on the road and one or both of them yelled something to each other and the Jeep whipped around. What did you say? It's just kid stuff, it could have been as simple as that. Um, but who knows? I mean, like I said, I'm sure, the police, from what we read, it seemed like they did check it out and didn't find really anything substantial. Um, I'm sure they probably didn't, like I said, completely dismiss it, but they just put it lower on their list of possibilities or priorities. Yeah, Josh says the bike never being found is what gets me. Yeah. Yeah, to me in this case, the bike might be easier to find than and I always forget to put my trigger warning, my creeper up with the trigger warning. I'm not trying to sound crass, but to me, the bike probably would have been easier to find than Angel, because the bike is heavier, so it will probably sink faster in the water. But then again, they said the river was at flood stage. It was very deep. It was very dark. It was very murky. The sonar couldn't even pick up anything. So, I mean, it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances. Did I miss stuff? Let's see. Hold on. I missed somebody. Oh, Mustang's back. Welcome's back. I did miss stuff. Okay, so Josh said Angel's mom appeared on the Maury Povich Maury show. Hey Heather Brown, how are you doing? Good to see you, sister. And she says, just wanted to pop in and say hello. Hello back to you. I hope you're doing well, ma'am. Good to see you. Haven't seen you around in a while. Oh, it's on Discovery Plus. I don't know if I have Discovery Plus or not. I'll have to check. Miss Paula said, you're talking about Discovery Plus. Miss Paula said they did one on West Memphis 3 case. Oh God, who hasn't done something on the West Memphis 3 case? By the way, still no new information in West Memphis 3. No, because they were testing, or they supposed to have sent the evidence off to be tested, but no new information or earth-shattering discoveries or news so far. So Josh says he's a little more sus about this one than I am. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, to me, the only thing obviously suspicious is the Jeep, being chased by the Jeep. I would want to know what this, whoever the people were in the Jeep, I would want to know what questions that they were asking about Angel. Because Josh said, not our Josh, but the Angel's friend Josh said that they were asking questions about Angel. I want to know what specifically they were asking. That would obviously put into context what the situation was. But obviously we will never know what they ask. We have missed you too, Miss Heather. You're very welcome, Miss Paula. All right, let me see what this other article quickly was or is. I was in an interview with this mom. Get the hankies out. All right, so this is from WFSB.com. Once again, as always, all the links to all the online sources I use are in the description box. So feel free to read them at your leisure, share them to help bring more awareness to this case. Mom's still looking for answers. 13 years since son went missing in Hartford. This is from September 2024, so not fairly recent. It says it has been almost 13 years since Angel Garcia went missing. Many years later, Garcia's family continues to search for answers. Laura, his mom, says no parent should have to go through this. Amen. She says the last 13 years have been a nightmare. I just can't imagine. Once again, Angel went missing on October 21st, 2011. He has still not been found. He was 19 years old at the time. Laura says, quote, I asked myself so many questions and I can't even answer them. Laura's search for answers has not stopped since Angel disappeared. Once again, he was last seen riding the red dirt bike with friends in the area of Newfield Avenue. Sergeant Anthony Rakowski of the Hartfield PD says, quote, from that area, he left by himself, reportedly to ride in the East Hartford area. Once he left that area with friends, he was never seen again, end quote. So Sergeant Rakowski has been investigating the case since the beginning, since Angel first went missing. Police have used canines, ATVs, helicopters, and dive teams to try to find him. Sergeant Rakowski is constantly reevaluating the case. He says, quote, I keep this case on my desk. I look at it every single day. If I have an opportunity to have newer detectives look at it, I've had outside agencies review my file because I want everyone's input. And that is fantastic because in a lot of these cases, I'll say a lot, in some of these cases, we all know how it is with the agencies, whoever is, what's the word I'm looking for? Whoever's in charge of the case does not want to bring in, or either is reluctant or does not want to bring in outside agencies to help. I don't know if it's ego thing. I don't know. But it looks like this Sergeant Rakowski was very willing. So, hey, yeah, I welcome anybody, any agency, new detectives, outside agencies. Look at the files, see what you think. Fresh set of eyes. So that is fantastic. So police believe that Angel rode his dirt bike over the Connecticut River train trestle, which connects Hartford to East Hartford, and possibly ended up in the water. So despite rigorous search efforts, Angel has not been found. The dirt bike was never recovered. His mom says, quote, every day I go to bed and I'm like, there's always tomorrow. Anything you hear, anything you see, no matter how small it is, say something, speak up, because you never know if a little conversation that you heard or anything can make a difference. Absolutely. Absolutely. Despite years of agony, Angel's mother is trying to hold on to hope. His family and investigators are asking anyone who may know something to contact the police. Sergeant Rakowski says, quote, we'll dedicate any and all resources we have towards finding answers and finding Angel. Laura, his mother, says she is grateful for the community's support over the years. Once again, anyone with information can also leave a tip anonymously with the Hartford PD at 860-722-TIPS, 722-8477. So once again, just so heartbreaking to read these interviews, especially with the mamas. But mamas are strong. They will never give up the fight. Look at Miss Barbara. She's still fighting for Timmy. And once again, I think it is fantastic that Sergeant Rakowski is not opposed to bringing in outside agencies, letting new other agents or other detectives look at the files. You know, in my opinion, the more eyes on a file, because somebody may see something that somebody else missed, or may interpret a piece of information a different way and say, hey, this is how I see it. How do you see it? And, you know, that's how things get done. That's how, you know, brainstorming. Anyway, okay. So I think that was the last article I had on him. Oh, we've only been going an hour and a half. We're good. All right. Trying to get a headache. I don't know why. Let's see. Josh says, I wonder if it was the East Hartford Railroad Bridge. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that area, but it did say that this bridge connected Hartford to East Hartford. Now, whether or not there's more than one railroad bridge that connects the two, I don't know, but it's possible. Josh says, if it is this bridge, the Riverside Park is right there. There's also a reservoir nearby as well. So they said, let me go back to that other article right quick. Once again, indulge me. It said, oh, let me find it. That on the 9th anniversary, it might have been a different park. They did plant a tree at a park that was close to where he was last seen. Hold on. Let me find it. Hold on, I'm scanning. My eyes are aftermath. Okay. I know they mentioned a park. I don't know if it was that one. Oh no. So in 2019, the family and friends held a vigil at Colt Park, COLT Park, where he is believed to have last been spotted. And then on the 9th anniversary, they planted a tree in his honor at the edge of Pope Park, Pope Park. So it was in the vicinity of Newfield. Josh is good with maps. It was in the vicinity of Newfield Avenue and New Britain Avenue. So I don't know if that's close to that park that you mentioned, the Riverside Park. Josh said there is a large amount of wooded areas as well, which is not good. I mean, bodies of water and wooded areas are very hard to find people, or dirt bikes for that matter. Thank you, Hebby. It was good to have you here, ma'am. She says, have a good night, everyone. God bless. Much love. Much love back to you, my dear. I hope you're feeling well. Josh says, if there's an accident here, given the flood status of the river, I can imagine it never being found, as the distance it could potentially travel or get buried in the soot. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, Josh says Pope Park is further inland and not near the bridge. Okay. All right. Okay, I think that is all we had on Angel, but that was a lot of good information that I was able to find for Angel. All right. Let me get the other, see who we have next. Okay, so we did Angel. So next, we have Rosa Marie Valentin. Josh says, though it wouldn't be hard to bite to the bridge. I think it is. Okay. Mustang wants to know if Josh has had snow yet. I think has Texas had snow yet? I know I was watching a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, we're having some kind of wintry weather. But I don't think it was, because I think Josh is more in the Panhandle, and this was more kind of in Central Texas. I mean, it wasn't anything outrageous, just a little bit of maybe some mix of sleet or something. Oh, they got Josh worried. Is it snow? Is it supposed to snow? No, do not say the S word. We don't want snow. Yep, Josh is in the Panhandle. Okay. Get another drink before I start reading again. I don't know why my throat is even more Mustang says I got dusting once so far. When did y'all get snow up there? Because Mustang is also in Arkansas, but she's in the northern part. I'm in central Arkansas. She's in northern Arkansas. When did y'all get a dusting? Oh, maybe was it a couple of weeks ago? I think I remember saying they were showing it. All right, enough about the weather. All right, so this is Rosa Marie Valentin. Well, in some places it's Valentin, and in some places it's Valentine. I'm going to go with Valentin because most of them said Valentin. So Rosa has been missing since July 26, 1986. She's an Hispanic female. She was just 16 years old when she went missing. She was 5'2" tall, 115 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Her nicknames are Rosita and Coco, and she has a mole on her right cheek. Last known clothing: a Battiston's cleaner's smock, a cotton shirt with numbers on it, blue jeans, white shoes, and a silver chain necklace with a unicorn charm, and she was carrying a black pocketbook with long straps. Excuse me. Supper's baking up on me. So Rosa was last seen in Hartford on July 26, 1986. She was walking home from work when she accepted a ride from a 29-year-old acquaintance named Pedro Miranda in his white Ford Mustang Cobra. A nice car. After that, she has never been seen or heard from again. So get your red flags going. Just saying. So Mr. Miranda does have a criminal record. It dates back to 1977. Trigger warning. He was convicted of kidnapping, essaying, and choking a woman in 1998. In December of 2008, he was charged with Rosa's homicide and with the homicide of 13-year-old Myra Cruz and 17-year-old Carmen Lopez, who was 6 months pregnant at the time of her death. And apparently this Pedro knew all three of the girls, Rosa, Carmen, and Myra. So Myra disappeared from Hartford in 1987. Carmen disappeared in 1988. Both were eventually found strangled. So when questioned about Rosa's disappearance, Pedro claimed that he was not with her on the day that she went missing, and that he had last seen her the day before. And he said that the eyewitness who identified him must have been mistaken. Now, I don't know how many white Ford Mustang Cobras were around that area in 1986. So that might, depending on that might narrow it down a little bit on the ID. Carmen's, which is one of the other victims, Carmen, what was her last name? Carmen Lopez. Carmen Lopez's former boyfriend, Miguel Roman, was convicted of her homicide. He was sentenced to 60 years in prison, in spite of the fact that the DNA found at the crime scene was not his. So his conviction was overturned. He was released from custody in December of 2008 after serving 18 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. So I'm wondering if, or do they know whose DNA it was that was at the scene if it was not Miguel's? So apparently it was, apparently, surprise, surprise, it was Pedro's. So in 2011, Pedro was convicted of kidnapping and taking the life of Carmen. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole because the DNA at Carmen's crime scene turned out to be Pedro's. At sentencing, the prosecutor referred to Rosa, and he appealed to Pedro to tell them where her body was. Apparently, he had nothing to say. He was also convicted of Myra Cruz's homicide in 2015, sentenced to another life sentence. And then in May of 2015, shortly before his sentencing and Myra's death, the prosecution dropped the charges against Pedro in Rosa's disappearance, citing problems with the evidence. So obviously Rosa has never been located. Foul play is suspected in her case due to the circumstances involved. So my bet, or not my bet, number one on my list of suspects, persons of interest would be Mr. Pedro. Just my opinion. I don't know. This is just my opinion. For anybody who's watching, listening, we always encourage you, just take this information, digest it, and form your own opinions. All right, so let me see if I was able to find anything else on Rosa. But I think, like I said, I have my opinion just from this information. Let's see, I do have something. This is from darkdowneast.com, the disappearance of Rosa Marie Valentin. See if it has any. So when 16-year-old Rosa Marie Valentin did not return home from work in Hartford, Connecticut, one July night in 1986, her family jumped into action to try and find her, but at every turn, the family's fears were dismissed, and Rosa was regarded as what? Anyone? What did they say she was? I'll give you a minute to answer. What do you think they labeled her as? Well, I get a drink. Oh my goodness. Echoes is in the building. Hey, Bubba. Good to see you. Ding, ding, ding. Miss Avery got it. A runaway. She was labeled as a runaway. Imagine that. Mustang. Yep, Mustang got it. Hey, Far. Good to see you, ma'am. Yep, runaway. Surprise, surprise, right? That is until more than a year later when another teenage girl disappeared under similar circumstances. So July 26, 1986, it was 8 p.m. on Saturday, and 16-year-old Rosa Marie Valentin still wasn't home from her shift at work. According to reporting by Teresa Sullivan Barger for the Hartford Courant, Rosa's father, Juan, was strict with all of his kids, especially his daughters who lived in Hartford at the a Charter Oak Terrace public housing project with him. His girls were not allowed to be out after dark. So with the clock ticking, later and later, Juan began to worry, and so did Rosa's sister. I'm going to butcher this name, Guadella, Gudelia. What Guadella knew, but her father didn't, was that Rosa's shift at Battison Dry Cleaning actually ended at 5 o'clock that day, not 7, like she told her father. Rosa was known to pad her hours a bit so that she would have time to hang out with friends before her dad expected her to be home. So by the time Juan was waiting at the door for Rosa, 3 hours had already passed since the end of her shift. With the sun setting, Juan started trying to track his daughter down himself. When his efforts to figure out where she went after work came up empty, Juan contacted the police. Hartford police, however, did not share in the Valentin family's concern. Juan was told by an officer that he needed to wait. How long did he need to wait? It varies. 24 hours. So the police told Juan that he had to wait 24 hours before Rosa could be reported as a missing person. And I believe, I don't know if Ms. Z is still here, but in her live stream Sunday night, that was part of the discussion, is that the police say, which is not true, there's no law, it's not true, you do not have to wait 24, 48, 72 hours to report a child or adult missing. Anyway, so Juan ended up going home. He counted down the hours, and he once again contacted Hartford PD to file an official report on July 27th. So in that initial missing persons report, Juan told police what he knew about the hours leading up to his daughter's disappearance. The day before, on July 25th, Rosa's sister had seen Rosa talking to a man in a white Ford Mustang Cobra. This guy's name was Pedro Miranda. And Rosa told her sister that she thought Pedro was nice. So I don't know if it says how old Pedro was. He was a man. He was an adult man. Does not need to be talking to we also discussed this too on Child Junkies United. Talking to a 16-year-old girl. Just my opinion, or our opinions. So it was Pedro Miranda. Rosa told her sister she thought Pedro was a nice guy. On the morning of the 26th, the neighbor reported seeing Rosa talking to Pedro again. Later that evening, when she should have been walking home from work, Rosa was seen outside of a convenience store called Shorty's Superette, talking to the same man in the Mustang again. She got into the car, and that was the last known sighting of her. So after that initial report was filed, police did pretty much nothing, according to this article. According to Dave Altamari's reporting for the Hartford Courant, although it is unclear exactly when, police did talk to Pedro, and he said that he talked to Rosa the day before she disappeared, and that the witnesses must have been just confused or something like that. They were just confused. They didn't know what they were talking about. So with that, Hartford Police Sergeant Richard Smith reviewed the details of the report and then made a decision about the circumstances of Rosa's disappearance. Sergeant Smith reasoned that Rosa was a teenager, and it sounded like she knew whoever she was talking to. That is completely, in my opinion, doesn't matter. And that she voluntarily got into his car. And as far as police was concerned, Rosa ran away. So just my opinion. Once again, we don't know exactly how old Pedro was. It just says he is a man. She was a 16-year-old child. in my opinion, and I know if Ms. Z is still here, I know she will agree. A man does not have any business with a 16-year-old child. Even if she did get into the car willingly, that doesn't mean that things didn't go sideways after that and something happened that she didn't want to happen, that she didn't ask for. All right, so moving on. So there was a big problem with this quick conclusion drawn by the police, though. Rosa had never run away before. She had no problems at school or at home, and she was generally a responsible, reliable teenager who may have bent her father's rules a little, but she was not someone who would take off without telling someone where she was going. What's more, her father was battling cancer, and for Rosa to not be there, spending time with him and her family did not make sense. With little recourse, though, and little attention from police, the Valentin family just had to wait and see if Rosa returned from wherever she went. And then 2 days after she went missing, the phone started ringing at the Valentin household. So the phone calls. The first phone call came on or around July 28th, that the day after the official missing persons report was filed. The caller said that his name was Davy and that Rosa was with him. According to him, he said she was doing all right, but that she did not want to talk to anybody. So Rosa's sister insisted on speaking with Rosa, but surprise, surprise, Davy never put Rosa on the phone. So after that call, Rosa's family went back to the Hartford PD and asked them to set up a wiretap so that they could figure out where this person was calling from and maybe track them down to get answers about what happened to Rosa. But guess what? Police did not follow up on the calls. In fact, Hartford PD said they had no written record of further conversations or interactions with the Valentin family after the initial missing persons report. So they took the report, dismissed the family. She ran away. She got into a car with somebody she knew. She's fine. We're done with it. Okay, so this Davy character kept calling throughout late July and mid-August. During one conversation with Guadella, who is Rosa's sister, Davy told her that Rosa wanted to come home to get her clothing and paycheck, but she never showed up. On 3 separate occasions, this Davy gave Rosa's family an address where Rosa was living. They doubted, obviously, that this Davy fellow was telling the truth, but they went to every single address just to be sure. And who can blame them? I mean, absolutely. So one address led them to a burned down house. Another address was a vacant building. And the third was occupied, but the people living there did not know who Rosa was. They'd never seen her, heard of her, seen anybody matching her description. So on August 16th, her father unfortunately passed away at the hospital following his battle with cancer. So that same day, the phone rang again with a call from Davy. So Rosa's boyfriend picked up and told Davy that if Rosa was really with him, then she needed to get to the hospital to pay her respects and be there with her family during their time of grief. Despite the loss of her father, Rosa never turned up, and that was the last time that the Valentins ever received a call from this mysterious Davy. But it was not the last phone call from an unidentified person claiming to have information about Rosa. So on September 9th of 1986, the phone rang at the Youth Services Unit of the Hartfield PD. Apparently, the caller had what they call good news. A missing teenage girl, Rosa Marie Valentin had returned home. With that, Hartford police administratively closed Rosa's missing persons case without any further investigation or confirmation that Rosa had actually come home. They did not even call Rosa's family to verify that she was home. And if they had, police would have learned that the call was a hoax. Surprise, surprise. And Rosa was definitely still missing. So Rosa's family said they had no idea that her case was closed, that they had, canceled the missing persons report. They got the call. Once again, the PD got the call. She's found. She's home. We're done. So they had no idea that the case was closed and that the police were not doing anything to find her. They would not find out the reality of Rosa's case until another teenager from the Hartford area disappeared more than a year later. And that's where it ends. So I'm going to have to do some research and see. It might have been Carmen Lopez or Myra Cruz, the other two. One of the other two. Maybe it was Myra. Because Myra disappeared on October 16th of 87. Carmen disappeared on January 7th of 88. And all three of them knew Pedro. I'm sorry, I got a little fired up on that one, but like I said, if I don't know if Miss Z is still here, but I know she would be fired up about how the police handled or did not handle that case. Okay, that is what I had on Rosa. So let me go back to your comments. Go back down to where I was at. I know, let's see. Wow, hold on. Bunches of comments popped up while I was doing all this reading. Okay, there we go. I remember that comment from Josh about the snow. All right. Let's see what you guys have to say about Rosa. Okay, so Mustang said they got, snow, a dusting of snow last month. What? So Miss Avery says, do you know it would not let me comment all this time saying I'm not a subscriber when I am? What? Well, so the YouTube gods apparently at some point have started unsubscribing people from channels. So if I were you or anybody, just every once in a while, depending on how many channels you're subscribed to, like me, I'm subscribed to like 1,000. Just periodically go through and just check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channels that you want to be subscribed to, and that the YouTube demons have not unsubscribed you so that might have been what happened. But hello, Avery. We are glad you're here. Absolutely. We love Avery. Josh says we are cold and windy so far, but no snow in the near future. Yes, Mustang is in the northwest part of Arkansas. Oh, I might have missed Josh. He says, good night all. I have to got to hit the hay. I hope all who are lost are found and justice soon follows. Absolutely. Thank you, Josh, so much for being here. Please check out Where Lavender Grows. Josh hopefully will be back on his channel creating content very soon, but he is very busy. So we understand. There's where Echoes came in. My brother. I don't know if he's still here. Let's see. How far behind am I? I'm about 15 minutes behind in comments. Welcome to Echoes. He is our resident honorary troll. Yes, Avery says Rosa was so young. Absolutely. She was what? Yeah, 16. And I'm telling you, I didn't. I'm gonna have to look up. Do more research on the other two, Carmen and Myra, the other two that disappeared. I'm gonna have to do some research on their case. Excuse me, on their cases. But I mean, just with Mr. Pedro's extensive criminal essay record dating back to, I think it was 1977. He was convicted and got 2 life sentences for Carmen and Myra. They dropped the charges in Rosa's case. But my bet, my unprofessional, just my opinion, is on Pedro. I mean, any man, adult male that's hanging out with 16, 17-year-old girls, unless they're a family member, no. Oh, Miss Paula said, "Oh, I didn't pay attention to the game. The Texans beat the Steelers." Yeah, that I don't have a dog in that fight. That's AFC. I don't keep up with AFC that much. I like Rodgers. I mean, I think he should retire, but so that means the Texans advance. I know, like I said, I don't know on the AFC side who's playing who in the divisional playoffs this week or this coming weekend. I know the NFC, my Bears are playing the Seahawks. Right. No, the Bears are playing the Rams. Niners are playing the Seahawks. Yep, that's where everybody was. Yep, the right guesses. She was labeled as a runaway. Good to see Miss Farr here. Yep, Ms. Z says always the same. Runaway is so lame. I know. I knew Miss Z would agree. Yes, definitely check out Stolen Spirits MMIWG. They do wonderful. They're on YouTube and Facebook. Same name, Stolen Spirits MMIWG. Miss Nicole, Miss Brady, all of them do wonderful work, make amazing missing persons flyers to help bring awareness to Indigenous MMIP, Indigenous persons missing and murdered. Please do check them out. What are you kidding about? What? Did I miss something? You think who copied you? Who copied you, Avery? Nobody could copy Miss Avery. You're one of a kind. Yep, absolutely. Mizzy says, yep, it's not true. There is no waiting period. There's no law. There's no guidelines. Anybody, adult or minor child, it can be reported ASAP. And I think Sunday night is when Ms. Z said basically it's not all law enforcement. So we're not making a blanket statement, but some are just lazy and don't want to do their job. And you got to wait 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours just because they don't want to do their job. Yep, Mustangs got her red flags. Absolutely. Absolutely. Minors cannot consent. That's what I was saying. And that's another discussion, or part of the discussion from Sunday night at the, please, I shared the link. Go to the channel, go to Child Junkies United, watch everything they've done. But on the specific one from Sunday night, I shared it on a community post as I try to do all the live streams. uh, Z had a guest, Miss Chong Kim, I believe that was her name. Please correct me if I'm wrong. She is a survivor of horrible, horrible things. And yeah, minors cannot consent. And we need to get rid of these, the age of consent. I think it goes state by state, but in some cases, some states it's 16 and or younger, or I think in some states, as long as the parents give permission, it can be whatever age. And that's just, in my opinion, wrong. Minors, like Z says, minors cannot consent. Oh, Miss Avery, thank you so much. Miss Avery sent a $20 super sticker or super chat. Thank you so much, my dear. So we get to put a, where's it at? Oh goodness, I lost the cow. Where's the cow? The cow ran away. Oh, there it is. Thank you so much, Miss Avery. That is very sweet of you. I appreciate it very much. It will go towards paying my StreamYard bill for this coming month. Lord, StreamYard is out of control. Yes, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Miss Z says, yep, here, and it is horrific. Yeah, Mustang said YouTube has been weird for months. Yeah, they've been doing a bunch. Yeah, it's always weird. It's always weird. But yeah, the unsubscribing, and I don't know if they do it. I'm sure bots do it, AI, whatever. But I don't know if it's, because some channels that I've subscribed to, I don't watch a whole lot, but I do go over occasionally and watch something. And there are some channels I watch everything. So I don't know if they unsubscribe you based on, okay, well, you haven't watched anything from this channel, so you must not be interested in it anymore. So we're just going to unsubscribe you. I don't know if that's the reasoning. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you guys have channels that you may not necessarily watch every single thing they post, but you'll go over there occasionally and see what's going on, and and watch something here and there. That doesn't mean that just because I don't watch it every single day or watch every single thing they post, that doesn't mean that I don't want to be that I want to be unsubscribed. Anyway, Miss Avery says, was the Brandon Act that passed in 2021 for no waiting period for all states? I don't know. Ms. Z probably could tell you. Ms. Z says, that is so true. Miss Chong Kim, I believe was her name, will be coming back toward the end of the month to talk about trafficking in Indian country. Excellent. Yeah, I remember you saying that you hope that she could come back or would be coming back at some point to talk about the indigenous trafficking. I will definitely be there for that. If I can't be there for that, hopefully I can. I will definitely be replay crew. But yes, Miss Chong was just, she had me in tears. Just such a strong lady for everything that she went through. She's a survivor. She's a fighter. She's not only fighting for herself, but fighting for other victims or other survivors. Other survivors. Just an amazing lady. Amazing lady. Avery says, I'm going to look it up. I was folding laundry. Has a laundry folder been invented yet? Yes. These two hands are the laundry folder. Yes, Miss Chong is totally awesome, as Miss Z said. Absolutely. Yeah, Mustang was there last night, Sunday night, I believe. Yep, for the live stream. Yeah, Miss Farr says she wished somebody would invent a laundry folder. And I have a dishwasher. I have two dishwashers right here. Okay. Let me see who we got next. This should be David Michael Roberts. I hope, because the picture, why didn't the picture come up on the, let me refresh. Okay. Yes, this is David Michael Roberts. Sorry, I'm drinking so much tonight. My throat is dry. Mr. Roberts has been missing since December 25th, Christmas of 2017, from East Hartford, Connecticut. He is a white male. He was 38 years old. Well, it says age 38. I don't know if that's age he would be now or when he went missing. The time he went missing, he was 6 foot to 6'2" tall and 190 to 200 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. He has tattoos of a yin yang symbol and a dragon on his back, and a tattoo of a heart with the word mom on his arm. It says he may be in need of medical attention for unspecified reasons. Now, I understand, and I think somebody else in a live stream I was watching, I don't know if it was Trial Junkies United or something else, we was talking about something was mentioned about unspecified. It might have been when, because at the end of Miss Z's and Doc's live streams, they always feature MMIP missing persons. I think maybe it says something to the same effect that they may be in need of medical attention or taking medication for unspecified reasons. Yes, we understand the HIPAA law and the need for privacy, but somebody said, it would be helpful if you have a missing person to know what, just a general idea of what kind of medical problems they have that might help you jog your memory about, hey, I saw this person with, maybe it's diabetes, maybe it's blood pressure, whatever it is, it would be kind of helpful maybe, but at any rate. All right, so Mr. Roberts, not a whole lot of information, was last seen in East Hartford on December 25th, 2017. It said that he normally contacts his family every day, but they have not heard from him since the day before he disappeared, and his phone is either turned off or the battery has died. It says that he may be driving a blue 2006 Ford Mustang with the Connecticut license plate number AG47808. Few details are available in the case, but if you do have any information, you can call the East Hartford Police Department at 860-291-7100. And I don't think I was able to find. He is listed on NamUs. I think that was all I was able to find on him. I don't know about Web Sleuth, so I'm gonna have to check. The NamUs has the same. That's probably where the Charley Project got their information. Says he generally calls his family. They haven't heard from him since December 24th, the day before. His phone appears to be off. No calls to or from his phone have registered since the 26th. So apparently, they heard from him or saw him on the 24th. After that, they didn't see him, but they said his a call or more than one call registered on the 26th. So that's interesting. See if there's anything else. The tattoos. Let me see if he's listed. I don't think he was listed on Doe Network. I cannot remember names tonight to save my life. Hold on. I had a thought, which is scary. Okay. can't spell. I don't think he is listed on Doe Network. Nothing came up. Let me look at Web Sleuth. Nothing on Web Sleuth. So the only thing I was able to find was Charley Project information. Once again, that's better than nothing. Let's see. Avery says, I twinkled my nose 5 minutes and nothing happened, so I had to fold it. So it didn't work like, who was it? Samantha the witch, you wiggle your nose. Didn't work. Ms. Z says, I just saw they have invented a robot that is supposed to fold laundry. I just saw that today. Oh, man. I don't mind folding laundry. I used to hate to fold fitted sheets. My idea used to be of folding a fitted sheet was rolling it up in a ball and throwing it in the linen closet. But I did home health caregiving for 10 years, and a few of my clients actually had daughters that were nurses. So I quickly learned how to fold a fitted sheet. And it's just like one of those things once you, and there's several different ways because I got on the YouTube and looked at so many different tutorials on how to fold fitted sheets. Every one of them was different. Finally, I found one. The way they did it, just something clicked with me, and now I can fold a fitted sheet. So anyway, that is my folding fitted sheet stories. Oh, goodness. Anyway. Yes, me too, Avery. Avery says, robots scare me. What if it goes crazy and takes me out? Telling you, have you not watched, what is that? There's so many movies about AI, robots. The one with Will Smith always comes to mind. I can't think of the name of the movie off the top of my head. As Avery said, diabetes for sure. Yep. Echoes has a diabetic. He is type 1 juvenile diabetes. Yeah, but like I said, we understand HIPAA and privacy, but it would be helpful to know what kind of medical condition a missing person has, just so people can be on the lookout for specific symptoms or something, whatever. Yeah, Ms. Z says, exactly, because knowing the medical condition could help locate them. Absolutely. Yes, that can happen. Whitney. Avery said, I've witnessed so many people get so confused from low blood sugar and end up lost. Yes. Once again, I'm not trying to give out Echo's business, but he's type 1 juvenile diabetic, and if it goes high or it goes low, it can cause a lot of problems. Confusion, disorientation, all kinds of bad stuff. So you are correct. That's it. iRobot. Ms. Z says, talking to Avery, says, I hear you. It reminds me of the movie iRobot with Will Smith before he went nuts. That's the movie. Yes, Miss Avery says, whenever the vehicle is missing too, my mind always goes to them being underwater. Exactly. Yeah, and I think it didn't say anything. Let me go back to the Charley Project in Mr. Roberts' case. So apparently, yeah, the vehicle is not accounted for either. So both he and the vehicle are missing. So once again, you have no idea what area. He was last seen in East Hartford. Don't know the terrain, the bodies of water, We at least know there's a river from Angel's case, so entirely possible. It could have been another tragic accident that they ended up he and the car ended up in the water. Absolutely. Yep. Mustang agrees. Avery says, I'm a lucky duck. I'm a lucky duck. I can't comprehend folding fitted sheets to save my life. Yeah, like I said, just that one, tutorial I watched, the way that they did it, I tried it a couple of times and it finally just something clicked. Kind of like, when you're trying to learn how to ride a bicycle, just something clicks and you get the hang of it and you're going, you're rolling. And that's what happened with that one, it clicked and now I can fold a fitted sheet. I'm not saying it's perfect and crisp, like hospital grade, like with the nurses of the clients that I had, but it'll pass. It's decent, Miss Barb is still here. Thank you once again. She got in Trial Junkies United. Link again. All right. Let's see who we have next. Okay. Let me mark that. And this should be Sandra Santiago. So Sandra has been missing since September 27th, 1998 from Hartford. Excuse me, she is a white female. She was 29 years old when she went missing. She'll be 57 years old as of 2025. I keep saying 25, 26. At the time she went missing, she was 5'4" tall and 100 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Her ears are pierced. And it says that she has needle marks on her arms. So I don't know if that is from substance use, but once again, that is neither here nor there. So there's not a whole lot of information. So Sandra was last seen at the I'm going to butcher this, El Camariano Cafe in the 200 block of Walnut Street in Hartford on the evening of September 27th, 1998. She had gone to the club alone at around 9 p.m. Various patrons saw her there, but no one saw her leave. Now, that doesn't mean that she disappeared somewhere inside the club. I mean, in my younger days, I went to plenty of clubs and bars, and I mean, people can leave, come and go, and, people don't notice, So she resided in the 100 block of Hampton Street at the time of her disappearance. She has never been heard from again, and her family did report her missing the next day. She had been arrested for a minor charge of breaching the peace or disturbing the peace. And she did have a court appearance scheduled for shortly after she went missing. And she missed the court date, which her family says is uncharacteristic. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance are unclear. She left behind 4 children, 3 of whom were in foster care, and 1 of whom lived with a relative. So if you have any information, you can call the Hartford PD at 860-527-6300 or 860-543-8710. Let me see if I was able to find anything else. Let's see what this is. Sorry. This is from the Hartford Courant it was updated, or it's from September 2021. Police seek help and search for missing mother of 4. Police are asking for help in locating a Hartford woman who has been missing since September when she failed to return home from a local club. Sandra Santiago was last seen at El Camariano Cafe on Walnut Street the evening of September 27th. Her family called police the next day to say that she never came home and missed a court date for a minor breach of peace charge. Her niece, Daisy Lopez, says, quote, "It's not like her to just leave. We are afraid that someone has hidden her or done something wrong to her," end quote. Santiago has 4 children. Her 3 boys are in foster care, and her daughter is living with one of her sisters, according to her niece, Daisy. Sandra went alone to the club around 9 p.m. Police checked with customers who saw her at the club but did not see her leave. According to Detective Deborah Callis. Callis says, quote, "We are concerned that she has not made contact with family members. Because of that, we don't know what to think." So anyone, once again, who may have seen her or know anything about the case, is urged to contact 860-527-6300. So that was that. I had one other thing. It may have been she is listed on the Doe Network. See if it has anything else. Says she has needle tracks on both her left and right arm. Unknown if her dentals are available. Her fingerprints are available. DNA unknown. Clothing, jewelry, personal items unknown. So they do have her fingerprints, but I mean, it would be nice if they had dental and excellent if they had DNA, but I think that is all I had on Sandra. I think we have one more. Let me get caught up in the comments. There's where I was at. Thank you once again. Miss Barb put in Josh Lapash's link to his channel where lavender grows. Please check him out. He should be back fairly soon, hopefully. Yeah, Miss Avery says, why do they put the photos in black and white? I don't know. And I even, if if I can't find any pictures that I like to to put on the slide, I will just they have on Charley Project. I will Google search and see if I can find any different pictures. And most of the time, the pictures that I find are the same pictures that are on the Charley Project. I don't know why they're in black and white, because this case is from 1999. Or no, that's never mind. From 19, I had already moved on to the other one. 1998. So I mean, you would think they would have a color picture, but they don't. Thank you very much, Miss Barbara's got Miss Avery's link. What, Miss Avery is inventing a song, loving the club. Wait, she says, wait, that sounded so wrong. Just meant I used to love clubbing, not that I did. Yeah, when I was young, I didn't so much go to clubs. We went to bars, and this was, I mean, yeah, when I was legal. I mean, of course, I was drinking way before I was legal, but when we were legal, we went to the bars. Usually the bar, where they have bands playing, and just sit and drink and listen to the bands play. Hey, Frank Meister, good to see you, sir. Welcome, welcome. He says, good morning, y'all. Is it morning? It's only 11 o'clock. It's good to have you here. Please check out Frank Meister. He does good work. And he's a good guy. Thank you very much. Miss Barb got in. Did he come up? Got in the link. Thank you. She also got in. Please check out Mustang. Mustang does good stuff. Yep. Avery says, I think we'd be more likely to recognize people if we could see good, clear color photos. I agree. I agree. All right. So the last one we have for the night is oh, I forgot I switched pages. This is Brenda Roberts, and there very little to no information except for her vitals. So Miss Brenda here has been missing since April 24th, 1999 from Hartford. She's a black female, 35 years old. When she went missing, at the time she went missing, she was 5 foot 1 inches tall, 140 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She has scars on her right hand and arm, her head, and the left side of her face. It's a lot of scars. Her last known clothing was a black t-shirt, a black coat with red trim, and black and white pants. And the only thing is she was last seen in Hartford on April 24th, 1999. She's never been heard from again. Few details are available in her case. Let me see if she was listed on she's listed on Doe Network. See if it had anything additional. 35 years old, African American female, 5 foot 1, 140, black short hair, brown eyes, the scars and marks on her head, scar on her right hand, arm, scar on her face, on the left side of her face, dental, unknown if there's dentals, fingerprints, or DNA available. That is it. She's also listed on NamUs, but I'm sure it's not going to have anything additional than like I said, a little is better than nothing. At least we've got a picture and her vitals. Scar on head, scar on right hand and arm, scar on left side of face. So that, to me, that's the most important part of the description, is a scar on the head, scar on the right hand arm, and scar on the left side of the face. Just makes me wonder where and how she got the scars. Was it accident? Was it something else? All right. So unfortunately, that is all we have on Miss Brenda. Once again, I can't say it enough. It's better than nothing. Miss Barbara said she liked to go out dancing when she was younger. I like to dance. I can't do it very well because I'm very old. I'm very old and have always been very clumsy. But I also like to sing too, and I can't carry a tune in a paper bag. But yeah, Mustang says she has 2 left feet. That sounds like me. What? Miss Barbara's leaning or learning? She may be leaning too. Who knows? See, I've never done, like I said, I don't dance. If I dance, it's in the privacy of my own home with nobody watching, not even family members. Avery says, we have a place here specifically for line dancing, and people my age love it. I like to watch people dance. I mean, just people who can dance. I mean, who can dance just fascinate me. And people who can sing. All right, I think that is the last one we had. Oh, I did have not a good update, but an update. And some of you guys may have watched the video uploaded this morning. Hold on, let me find an article right quick for anyone who might. I'm not going to read the article that I used for the video, but I did find another article. This is concerning Miss Joanelle Brandon, who has been missing from here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas since May 13th of 2025. There's been some news, unfortunately not the kind of news that we hope for, but well, I will read the articles for anybody who has not. So let me put up a picture for anybody who may have not forgotten, but just we go over so many missing people that I know I still have her picture on here. Let me find it. Okay, so this is Miss Joanelle. So information came out, which I've been so busy with holidays at the end of December. Information came out around the December 29th or 30th that a person has been arrested and charged with homicide and abuse of a corpse in Miss Joanelle's case, which is, like I said, absolutely not the news that we want to hear. So this is the first article. Man accused. Oh, this may be a different article. A man accused of the homicide of Pine Bluff woman makes first court appearance. Let me see if this has the same information. Okay. Let me share a screen. Hold on. 1 second. Take that down. Oh, I need to hold on. I got to take the picture down so you can move that. Okay. So this is Tony Thompson Jr., POS, alleged POS. So that is him. Man accused of homicide of Pine Bluff woman makes first court appearance. Tony Thompson Jr., the man accused of taking the life of a Pine Bluff woman, Miss Joanelle, who was reported missing for months, pleaded not guilty in his first court appearance on Wednesday. THV 11, which is one of our local news stations, was in the courtroom when Thompson made his not guilty plea. His bond is set for $1 million, as he is facing several charges, including homicide in connection to the death of 43-year-old Joanelle Brandon. He has also been charged with abuse of a corpse. Thompson's court appearance on Wednesday comes after authorities engaged in months' worth of investigation as Brandon's missing persons case shifted into a homicide investigation. She disappeared in May of 2025 as authorities reported that she was last seen near University Avenue around 11 p.m. on May 13th. Police arrested Thompson and charged him with homicide and abuse of a corpse. They said that he allegedly committed the crime on or around May 13th of 2025. According to an affidavit, Brandon was last seen that same day. Records show that she reportedly left with Thompson in a white box truck to go to All-in-One Wholesale Warehouse. However, Thompson told investigators that he dropped her off within a block of her home and that he did not know where she went after that. He's a lying POS, allegedly. Reports also show that the white truck driven by Thompson did not belong to him, and the actual owner of the truck agreed to let police search. So they got a search warrant. They searched the truck. Court documents state that they found a 9mm 9mm shell casing under the passenger seat. And that was enough for investigators to tow the car for a search warrant. The warrant said they also found a Glock 17, which fit the casings inside of Thompson's home. They also found, I don't know if it says in here, but it said in the other article, the original article, they found Miss Journell's blood, and they also found Thompson's DNA inside the truck, along with the shell casings. And then they found the Glock inside his home, which matched the shell casings. On May 17th of 2025, court records showed that Thompson's mom reportedly said that her son had taken her car without permission. She thought that he was fleeing. A document said that when Thompson started a pursuit with Arkansas State Police, he crashed. He was taken into custody, where he still denied any involvement with Journell's disappearance. The affidavit stated the family started receiving ransom texts asking for $12,000 for Journell's release. Court documents revealed that a woman named Italia Thompson, I don't know if she's any kin to Tony Thompson. I'm going to assume she is, but I don't know. So this Italia Thompson picked up the ransom. Then in July, the state crime lab confirmed that Journell's blood had been found inside the truck. So now, based on her blood, the shell casings from the gun, as well as Thompson's DNA being in the same truck, prosecutors said that it's their theory, their conclusion, that he took the life of Miss Journell and concealed her body somewhere. So he is facing charges once again for first degree homicide and abuse of a corpse. And also, I think I put it in the video that before this came out, when the information came out about this Italia Thompson texting Journell's family for ransom, that she told them, now don't know if it's true or not, so take it with a grain of salt. This Italia Thompson told, so trigger warning, told Journell's family that she had, I don't think she said that she actually helped do the deed, but that after the deed was done, that she basically wrapped Journell's body up in some kind of tarp or plastic, put it in the back of a car, and then put the car into a body of water. Once again, nothing official except for that one news article has been released about that, so we don't know if that's true, but Thompson was charged with concealing, or they believe that he took Journell's life and then concealed her body. So, I mean, like I said, definitely not the conclusion, but at least, I hate to say closure because there are different forms of closure, but at least maybe her family can get some justice. Absolutely. But I know I found another article. Let me see if this is it. Interviews with her family. Oh, that is a video. I can't do the video. Maybe this is it. Right, I won't share the screen, but I'm going to put her picture back up there while I'm reading this. All right, so get the ads out of the way. This article is from the 7th of January. Bring Journell home. Arkansas family seeks justice for missing person death investigation case. The family of Pine Bluff mother Journell Brandon has never stopped searching or remembering her light, and now they continue searching for justice. Since Pine Bluff mother Journell Brandon was reported missing, her family has never stopped searching and also remembering her light. Her daughter Markeisha Johnson says, quote, she gets you with that smile, and no matter who you are and her heart, you are a kind person and you are her friend. Another family member, Jonelle's sister, told THV11 that Jonelle wanted to see the good in everyone. The sister said, quote, if you talk to her, she was going to make sure. She said, I love you, sis, you know, every chance she got. For 6 months, those memories and Jonelle's smile have been a source of strength. For Johnson, it's a reminder of who her mother is and why her family has not stopped fighting to bring her home. Her daughter Markeisha says, quote, it has been very rocky without not knowing proper information that we should, and recently learning the information that we did. It still does not bring us any closure because we don't have her home with us physically. Fluker Street is where Pine Bluff say Brandon was last seen. Police reports say Johnson dropped her mother off at a home on this street, expecting her to return later. The next morning, she found that Brandon had never come home. That same report stated that Brandon was last seen with 30-year-old Tony Thompson Jr. in a white box truck. Months later, police say they found Brandon's blood inside that vehicle, along with the shell casing and DNA allegedly linked to Thompson. Markeisha said, quote, learning about the DNA evidence, it was very heart-wrenching because knowing that it is her DNA, considering that it matched me, so it's like a piece of me was found, but a whole part of me is still out there somewhere, end quote. So Thompson, once again, was charged with first-degree homicide and abuse of a corpse. On Wednesday, he appeared before a judge for his plea and arraignment. With Jonelle's family in attendance, he pleaded not guilty to the charges with his bond set at $1 million. Markeisha said, quote, this is a rocky roller coaster. It's not easy at all. I can't imagine. This just breaks my heart because we have been sharing this and following this since it happened. So the family emotionally recalls the journey and events of missing their loved one. Through their tears, Markeisha said that she always goes back to her mother's light. Markeisha says, quote, she wouldn't want us sad. She would tell us that we are crazy for crying. What are y'all crying for? She was very God-fearing, and that's a part of the reason why I keep my faith, because she had faith that was so strong. And as my grandmother would say, all you need is a little faith. And that's what has been keeping this family strong, believing, and together. End quote. So Markeisha tells THV11 that faith is what drives her ultimate mission to bring her mother home. Markeisha said, quote, like I always say, I'm forever screaming, bring Jonelle home until we get that reunion. And it says tomorrow, which would have been the 8th, would have been Miss Jonelle's 44th birthday. And MJ, her daughter, said the family will hold a balloon release in her honor. Oh my gosh, it just breaks my heart. So anyway, that is the latest. I said, once again, definitely not the outcome, but hopefully they can find, I mean, I don't know. If you believe the story about what the Italia, whatever her name was, sorry, about her supposedly, wrapping the body up and putting it in a car and putting it in a body of water. Who knows? But it's just, like I said, this one, all of them affect me, but this one especially because, like I said, I've followed it and shared it with you guys and shared posters and any updates since the beginning, and just to have it, in this way, it's just heartbreaking. Let me get caught up again, and it will get out of here. What did I do with all my losing all my stuff here? Let's see. Far said I used to love watching my mom and dad jive. Miss Barbara says I love going out going out dancing on Saturday nights. Yep. Avery says, oh no, I know. Just oh, so sad. Absolutely. No, they have not found her body. Like I said, if that story is true, that the woman, they, unless she, now if it is true, now I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, she could have just been saying that, because they did say that Tony, they think Tony Thompson obviously took Jonette's life and then concealed her body. Now Talia could have helped him. I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for them to give up where they hid her body at, because he's pleaded not guilty, obviously, which is not, that's standard operating procedure. And he just does not look like the type of person that's going to give up anything, say anything. But God, I just wish, for the family. I mean, but alleged sociopaths, psychopaths, unalivers, they don't have a conscience. They don't care. They don't care. They don't give two, excuse my language, they don't give two shits about what the family, about the family. Yeah, Miss Barbara says I don't have words. I know. Thank you, Miss Paula's prayers. Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Avery. Thank you for being here, dear. Thank you, Miss Barbara says prayers for our family and friends. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to get out of here. It's been almost 3 hours. It's about par for the course for us. So, depending on scheduling, I might be able to do another live stream Friday night if there's not any ball games on. I'll have to check the schedule. Right now, everything depends on what days the ball games are on. I don't think there's any ball. I think the only colleges left is the championship game, Indiana and Miami. I'm hoping Indiana wins because I can't stand Miami. So, no offense to any Miami fans out there. And I know the NFL playoff games are going to be Saturday and Sunday. So depending on scheduling, I might be able to do a live stream Friday night. Just kind of a true crime after dark. I've got a lot of stories, missing persons and things saved up in my browser that we need to go over and take care of and, share. So I'll, like I said, I'll get everything straightened out and get it scheduled. So I think that's it. And then, of course, next Monday we'll have another missing person, or our usual missing person Monday live stream, and I'll have to see whatever alphabetically whatever state comes after Connecticut is what we'll be doing. A city from that state. Anyway, thank you, Miss Farr. Thank you, Mustang. Thank you, everybody that was here in chat. Thank you to our lurkers. Thank you to Replay Crew. You guys rock. Once again, if you're Replay Crew, please leave a comment down below so I'll know. Everybody have a good rest of your week. Let me do some multitasking here. Everybody have a good rest of your week. Be safe. Be kind. We are all we have. Take care of each other. hopefully I will see you Friday. If not, I will see you guys Monday. Love you guys, and I'll see you soon.